Hello and welcome to the Lunchtime News. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. We will dig into it. Government has initiated construction of Nyamutunga mini irrigation scheme to mitigate drought challenges faced by farmers in Kasese district. The innovative project, spearheaded by the Kasese district local government, is estimated to cost 361 million shillings and anticipated to cover 250 acres of farmland for irrigation. The scheme aims at providing water to farmers within the region.
We are here at Nyamatunga mini irrigation scheme. It is in Nyamatunga 3 village, Mungonyi sub-county. And this irrigation scheme, mini irrigation scheme, is an innovation of the Kasese district local government as one of the projects to enhance production.
I'm very happy with this project, this irrigation scheme, which is which was our very cry for a prolonged period. We have been crying, we have been making proposals, all our financial planning, and it was fortunately that our cry was replied by our district.
There was their request, and we are happy now that we are implementing this project. And this project is taking, the project cost is 361,713,000.
So because of lack of good methods of irrigation, we used it to face a lot of challenges because there was competition of waters. But since water is put in channels, we hopefully believe that this irrigation will do the best.
On the program of the drawings was given, this is the tank, and this tank contains around 75 cubic meters, which shall be giving out to the community. I've constructed the main channel of around 800 meters, and this channel I have almost reached around 70%.
But there are also other points that it may serve the people of Nyakatonze to be able to do the watering of their animals. So the production in that area is going to increase. And to us, that will translate into money at household level. And we believe that one is going to boost our economy locally and even internationally. Because once they produce, we shall sell food to our brothers and sisters, the Congolese in the DRC, because we share a market.
And for over 20 years, Indians in Uganda have celebrated the Day of Color and Love, also known as Holi festival. It is for this that Indians of all walks of life converged at Lugogo as part of the year's celebrations.
Hundreds of Indians living in Uganda have marked the Day of Color and Love, also known as Holi Day. The event was marked under the theme of forgiveness and creating friendship. Heavy downpour at the venue could not stop the jubilations that attracted the young and the old with a paint on their faces. The Festival of Color and Love was characterized by splashing of paint and water at each other, an act to good days ahead.
So Holi is celebrated to accept the new thing in our life, because in March we are celebrating our new year in India. So Holi is significant that yes, we can be friends with enemies also, okay? Because when we put colors, we are fighting with a neighbor, and on Holi, if we are putting color on him, he will feel good. He will not feel that why he is putting on color.
It was not only the sharing of color, but also display of the Indian culture, art and music.
So young, youth, old, all other respects are there. So in Holi festival, we forget each and everything what was past, and we think about the future.
As Plascon, we believe in the fact that culture and our society's development are inseparable.
Kansai Plascon, a leading painting company, was the main sponsor of the event.
One of the other events that we do in promotion and celebration of culture and society and our heritage. We believe that as a business, if we can work together with the people we are serving and the communities we are serving and grow with them, growing with them through the preservation and celebration of their heritage and their culture.
The Holi festival heralds the onset of spring through an uncontrolled celebration of color.
Up to now, we are doing all CSR activities, heart surgeries, blood donation camps, and we are also, our roots is Indians, but we are Ugandan.
The festival is all about fun, frolic, vibrant and beautiful colors that celebrate the victory of good over evil.
And Minister for Education and Sports Janet Museveni has challenged graduates to remain focused on their professions as they go out into the world of employment. She noted that parents deserve to see the fruits of their children's education after their sacrifices in paying tuition, a commitment that she does not a commitment the minister says does not deserve disappointment. This was contained in her speech delivered for her by State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Muriku, during the graduation ceremony of 143 graduates at Muni University.
As you embark on the new journey in your lives, I have no doubt that your academic journey in Muni University has not only equipped you academically, but also it has given you the virtue of integrity, virtue of compassion and service to the community. I would like to caution you as you step out to the world of work. In the face of challenges and uncertainties, keep your focus and keep your mission. I would like to thank all your parents, your guidance, your sponsors that have sacrificed to ensure our children get to higher education. In a special way, I would like to express my gratitude to the Vice Chancellor, Associate Professor Anguma Simon, who has been installed today as the second Vice Chancellor of Muni University. I've already read the praises from Mama Janet. Permit me, as the daughter of the soil, to say this. The staff establishment, which is supposed to be 1,268. However, currently, we have 246. Out of these, 110 are academic staff. When I say the proportion of academic staff, and I say the ratio of students who are graduating today, I do not think we are maximizing all the resources that are at hand properly. We've cried for this university. We've lamented for this university. We've blamed government left and right for this university. Today, we are in the 6th graduation ceremony and witnessing only 100 graduating. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the investment government has put here. And yet we are passing out just a handful of 100 as if it is coming from a nursery school. And we are sitting as academic staff very happy, graduating 100 students. Our region is not taking education as critically as other regions. This is the demonstration. Vice Chancellor, I'm happy. The number is steadily growing. It's my prayer that we come here next year to witness graduation of 500, 600 plus.
And Tingay Sub-County Member of Parliament, Fadil Twala has urged communities in disaster-prone areas to resettle to safer zones. He also expressed fear that the Sabini are likely to be affected by a crack that developed from Bugisu extending to their sub-region. He was speaking to Muslims whom he hosted for an iftar dinner at his home in Kawowo sub-county.
We had disaster in 3 sub-counties of my constituency. We had disasters in Kapsinda, Gamoko, and partly Omgol, and even Kasarem sub-county, especially those who are living within the mountains. If it rains so much, when there is a lot of rain, please, they have to move, and we first give some time. That's how we are trying to manage disasters as government is organizing. We have a straightening rock that we have a crack that joins from within Mount Elgon forest. It is from the other side of Bugisu. It cuts across to the side of Sabei. And it is really, really a disaster that we expect it at any time. Government had a plan to relocate the disaster-prone areas in my constituency. But first of all, land in our constituency is very expensive. Very expensive, whereby the 17 million that the government has been offering is very little. It is just a cost of an acre, and yet they wanted people to go and buy around some acres. They wanted people to buy 2 acres, but now people don't want to go to the lower bell. Even still, the lower bell has some disasters. All the water that leaves our mountain goes and storms in the lower bell. So the only thing is we want to see how we can manage our disasters within our areas.
اللهم أجد أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم ارحم أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم وافق أمة محمد.
Our people are law-abiding citizens. Now Ramadan is coming to an end. They should do things that show they are God-fearing. They should do things that benefit their personality as the community of Sabei sub-region.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hustle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, Pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Hams Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Ebisera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *5*8# ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erunganisibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda. Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Joko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Welcome back. Now, business experts in real estate training and management have described the new proposed 5% tax on land and property transactions as a duplication of charges likely to suffocate the sector. This was during a media brief in Kampala as a follow-up to the proposed tax.
Real estate sector registering an annual growth rate of 6% recently. Some experts in real estate training, development and management have expressed reservations on the proposed 5% URA tax on land and property transactions in the financial year budget. From the Global Institute of Property Studies, Dr. Rachel Mirembe, and Real Estates Institute of East Africa, Nicholas Arinaitwe, say that the proposed tax will impose an extra charge to the business in addition to the already 6 existing charges of stamp duty, property tax, ground rent, withholding tax, capital gains tax, VAT, and rental income.
If this tax is introduced, it is going to see, or it's going to cause a decline in the construction. It will discourage construction, basically. People buying the land because it's already expensive, and then the construction. However, we already have a housing deficit of 2.4 million houses in Uganda.
So it is much a lot that people will not afford. And therefore the tax is not going to be popular. We are going to see people not paying it. It's a lot of money that people cannot afford. And it will hike properties.
However, from Rest Assured Property Investments in Kampala and Bombo, Nasa Kaziwe says that government should fast-track the enactment of the long-overdue real estate bill to regulate the sector before proposing new taxes.
The government should first prioritize the real estate agents bill that is within the parliament, because as we speak, it should put more emphasis on regulating the industry before imposing more taxes in the industry. Because
meanwhile, they have some suggestions if the new tax is to work.
I really believe that right now is the right time to impose more 5%, because we don't know which mechanism or in which way did they come up with this 5% tax minus.
The real estate industry contributes about 7.6% annually to the GDP, despite the fact that they don't take care of us or put a lot of money in the real estate sector. So if the government would come up and pump more money into the industry, how? Probably work with Housing Finance Bank, which is good at mortgages.
Farida, and Collins Juko.
On the international scene, experts on South African political affairs say the nation's youth are pessimistic about the 29th of May elections and believe that their vote will bring little change. For Insight, our reporter spoke to Marapeng Mpia, a political commentator based in South Africa's most populous city, Johannesburg.
The state of affairs in South Africa, it's to say the least, it's undesirable. And in actual fact, it's disappointing to be a black young person in South Africa, worse for black female. The ANC seems to think just because in 1994 they've won election, and furthermore because they're a 112-year-old party, we must almost treat them like demigods to say, you've saved us, therefore you'll remain in power despite performance, or the lack of performance, as it were. Therefore, you find a lot of young people whom, like myself, I would rank myself as highly qualified, competent. But the thought of me being in politics or running for office, knowing that if I don't corrupt myself, or if I don't allow people to eat, I will die. That scares me. And that puts me off as a young people to say, if I want to make my state and my country better, the likelihood of being good and doing good things is death. That for me is problematic.
How about the likes of the DA, Malema's vibrant party? There are a lot of people who think that maybe those could be an alternative to the ANC.
The DA has never been kind to dark-skinned people all over the world. Liberalism simply does not work. Liberalism through the DA, I would assert, is racist. It does not empower black people, none whatsoever. It purports itself to be efficient, but it's efficient for white people mostly. It's not efficient for all people. They tout themselves as all-inclusive. They tout themselves as a party that cares for all people. The EFF on the other party, it's run by a very strong leader. I am cognizant of this. My critique of the EFF only comes here. As much as Malema usually says, well, look, I'm going to be in power, and then being in power, I'm going to naturally just step out and allow people to take over.
And Rwanda's President Paul Kagame this week paid tribute to the victims of the nation's 1994 genocide. Speaking during a ceremony in Kigali, Kagame said the international community failed Rwanda during the nation's dark period, where mostly Tutsis and moderate Hutus were slaughtered in mass killings.
Kagame lit the torch flame to begin yesterday. So activities are going on in people's different homes and then organizations just to commemorate this. Some people are organizing peace walks, some are visiting the memorial sites all over the country and then laying wreaths in honor of people who have passed. And in the next 1 week, the government, there isn't supposed to be mass gatherings of people, no music, no celebration, and flags are going to fly for half-mast. And people will just commemorate in any capacity that they can, but it continues for the next 100 days, and the government is commencing it with the first 7 days of quietness, peace, and solemnness.
Sadanu, how is the country raising awareness about genocide prevention? Is it a door-to-door conversations? Is it community meetings, or some of this has gone as far as, school, where children are taught what happened and how to prevent genocide?
So yeah, basically does that. So what they've done is basically build a curriculum that has been initiated into this educational system at every stage. So teachers are trained to be able to be good role models and then be able to practice peace. Because the challenge that, according to Aegis Trust, they faced the most was having perpetrators' kids and then victims' kids being in the same classroom, being in the same community. But the best way they've done this is having people who openly come and say, I had the opportunity to kill someone, but I didn't. I was a moderate Tutsi. And then that person becomes a role model. They have people who were like, I was misinformed and I did this and I'm sorry. So we have perpetrators coming back into the communities and then helping build structures in the community, helping give back to the community. And all of this is helping foster the peace and unity. And then one of the methods that they use, which is a traditional system called gachacha, they basically use it in such a way that there's an open grass. Gachacha literally means grass, which is an open grass system where victims and perpetrators sit together in a community and they have conversations about this. They forgive each other openly and then they move forward towards it. So that has been one of the ways they've been healing and also raising awareness about what happened when victims acknowledge what they did, actors acknowledge what they did, and then victims are able to forgive them.
Meanwhile, Kenyan doctors have snubbed calls by President William Ruto to return to work after the East African leader said his nation cannot afford to meet the medical practitioners' salary demands because the nation is struggling with a ballooning wage bill. Secretary General of the Kenyan Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, Dr. Kahura Mundia, expounds on the doctors' strike.
Yesterday, 25 days after strike, the rise to all Kenyans to enjoy healthcare is absolute. The doctors, whatever they are demanding, was settled 7 years ago in a collective bargaining agreement. So what we are doing simply is to remind the government to continue honoring the collective bargaining agreement that has been in force. Living within our means is okay, but doctors' right to decent and dignified work must be upheld. Doctors are ready to go to work and they are ready to serve Kenyans. So we await talks from the government.
But many Kenyans have lost their lives since you went on strike, and many of them, of course, cannot afford to pay private hospitals. What do you tell them?
Well, that's the saddest part. We want a stronger public healthcare system because most Kenyans cannot afford the private sector. But over the years, it has been designed that the public sector must be weakened by not supporting it so that most persons can get to gravitate to the private sector. Doctors in Kenya, a majority number, work in the public sector, and it is a call for the government to strengthen this sector because most Kenyans cannot afford private care. So
And now in sports, Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola believes Real Madrid will be determined to get revenge after they thrashed the Spanish giants on their way to winning last season's Champions League. City beat Real 5-1 on aggregate in the semi-finals. However, Guardiola has no doubt the 14-time winners will pose a tough test on Tuesday's quarter-final first leg in Madrid. Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti wants his side to show more mental strength than they did when the two sides met last season. After a one-on-one draw in Madrid, Manchester City thrashed Real in the second leg 4-0. Meanwhile, Arsenal may have thought they had seen the back of nemesis Harry Kane when he left Tottenham for Bayern Munich in the summer, but he returns to North London looking to dump Mikel Arteta's side out of the Champions League. The Gunners host Bayern in Tuesday's quarter-final first leg. 30-year-old has scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than anybody else with 14 strikes. 5 of those came at the Emirates, which is the joint most for a non-Arsenal player. Kane has enjoyed a record-breaking start in Germany with 38 goals in his first 37 games. And FIFA executive will conduct a countrywide tour of the 8 regional football associations starting this week. The routine engagement with the lower league clubs and other football stakeholders will also include members of the Regional Football Association. The 8 regions are West Nile Region Football Associations, Northern Region Football Associations, Northeast Region Football Associations, and Eastern Region Football Associations, among others. From the East, FUFA executive were in Buganda region in parts of Luwero, Nakaseke, and Nakasongola. And that does it for Lunchtime News. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
After the massive launch of the Museveni Awoma hit song in Kololo, Mukono, Nabweru Wakiso District and Masulita War Zone, Munamasa Kansereko Emma takes Museveni Awoma to Mityana on Friday, the 26th of April 2024 at Mityana Saza Ground. We shall start with Bulungi Wansi, a health camp, and then a boom of entertainment with thousands of comedians and artists, all at a free entry. Anti-Jaja Gabude, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be our chief guest. Come, let's have fun with Jaja. Don't miss.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello viewers, welcome to the program Safe Life. I am Kathy Ishimge, and today we are all about breast cancer awareness. And with me, I'm having Nambiru Joyce from Wokaso. You're most welcome to the show. Please say hello to the viewers.
Thank you, Kathy. My name is Nambiru Joyce from Uganda Women's Cancer Support Organization, in brief known as Wokaso. I'm happy to be here and to be here with Kathy.
All right, straight away, please give us a little background of the organization and when and why it was started.
Thank you, Kathy. Wokaso, Uganda Women's Cancer Support Organization, was started in 2006 by women who were cancer patients by that time. So there were 5 women who are undergoing treatment at Uganda Cancer Institute. So they decided to have some time and be together to talk about the disease they were treating. So after that, they came up with a group which afterwards became an organization. So they wanted to be meeting and have a chat and counsel each other. So afterwards, it became an organization.
Okay. Well, apart from supporting each other, what are other activities that the organization is running?
Okay, after being started to be an organization, there are many activities that we now do. First of all, as I've told you, there were 6, but afterwards they started including other patients, other survivors. So we are now many, up to almost 200 plus survivors who are members of Wokaso. So to become a member of Wokaso, you just pay a subscription and a membership, which is 50,000 per year, and you become a member. As long as you are a patient, a cancer patient, or a survivor, you can become a member. We have many activities that we do as Wokaso, and these include counseling. We do counseling, we counsel patients and their families from hospital and from their homes. We do community outreaches, where we go to the community and sensitize them because we want them to know about cancer. As you know, cancer can be treated and cured. So we want to go out and tell them about cancer and then they screen, because many times when you go in to do outreach in the community, we go with a medical team, whereby as UCASO, we do sensitization, and the medical team does the treatment, the screening, and whatever.
Okay.
We also do patient navigation, which is patient follow-up.
Okay.
The way we do it is that when you get a patient, we try to follow that patient to see, we go up to their homes to see how they are faring with the treatment and whatever, because many patients sometimes they drop out. So we always want to keep in touch with them to enable them, to help them not drop out, so that they can finish their treatment and become survivors and still do their work.
Okay. And what are the major causes or the common causes of breast cancer?
Okay, cancer in general, we cannot say that this is the cause of that disease. For example, if you have breast cancer, they cannot come out and tell you that you got this breast cancer because of this. So there is no one particular cause of cancer, but there are what we call risk factors. There are risk factors whereby if you do some of these things, you may get cancer or you may not get cancer. So the risk factors include things like smoking, and as you know, smoking, you may not be smoking yourself, but the people around you who are smoking, so it can also affect you.
You literally are also smoking passively?
Yes, passively. And we also have diet. The way we eat also can cause the body to produce cancerous cells. Because cancer, it is your body cells that become abnormal. They start to do things which are abnormal. So whenever those cells become abnormal, where they start becoming abnormal is where you get the cancer. So if the abnormality starts from the breast, then you get the breast cancer. Because you know, every part of your body can get cancer. So it is where the abnormalities start from where you get the cancer. There is also over drinking. Alcohol can also cause cancer. Then the lifestyle. Do you do exercises? Because an inactive body can also cause cancer. Then there is also other diseases, other infections which can cause cancer. Like if you have HIV and your body is weak or your immunity is low, you can get other types of cancers. For example, there is this type of cancer called cervical cancer, and in fact it is the commonest cancer in women in Uganda, cervical cancer. But if you have other illnesses and your immunity is low, you help that virus which brings cancer of the cervix to grow, and eventually you get the cancer.
Okay. Well, you talked about a few indicators. I would like to know those few indicators that one could tell that probably they are maybe likely to get cancer, or maybe the breast cancer, literally the breast cancer. Those few things that I shouldn't ignore in case I am seeing them on my body.
First of all, with breast cancer, many people think that it affects only women, but for breast cancer it is for both women and men. You must know your breasts. How do they look? What is the size of your breasts? What is the color of your breasts? What is the skin of your breasts? So whenever you see any change, it is advisable that you go and see a doctor. We must check our breasts every month. Every month you must check your breasts. As I've said, this applies to both men and women. So if you are a man or a lady who is in menopause, you get 1 day in a month and check your breasts. For example, you can say that I'll be checking my breasts every first day of the month or every last day of the month. So you do that every month. if you are still going in your periods, you count 10 days after your periods, and then you check your breasts.
Okay.
You check the size, you check the color, you check the skin, you check the nipple. Where does your nipple point? Is it the normal way? Has it been like that? Like if your nipple has been pointing like this, and you see it pointing the other way or folding inside, so that one is an abnormality. You must go and see a doctor. Then another thing, we always tell people to check their breasts using their fingers. You use these 4 fingers here, and you massage your breast to see whether there are things which are like stones, small stones, like a seed of a cowpea. So you check and see whether you have such things in your breast.
Okay.
So the way you do it, I said you count 10 days after your periods. You check yourself. You can use a mirror, and first of all you undress yourself. You look into the mirror and you straight look at your breasts.
Okay.
There you can clearly see the size, the color, the skin texture. Then when you are checking for the things like stones, like small stones, like seedlings, you check and see what is inside the breast using your fingers. So
how am I able to differentiate from those small how are they called, the small other things that develop apart from the normal breast tissues?
Okay, you can detect them using your hand. I mean using your fingers. You can do it while standing or while laying on your bed. You put one of your arm here so that your breast protrudes very well. Then you use these fingers to massage the breast. So you massage around the breast. If that thing is there, you will feel it.
Okay.
So you massage and go up to your armpits. Because in some women, they start from the armpits.
Okay.
You may not have it in the breast, but you have it in the armpit. And another dangerous thing is that many times they don't pain.
Okay.
So you find women saying, "Me, I have my thing here, but it doesn't pain." So you don't wait for the pain. As long as you feel that thing inside your breast, run
it
to the
is
hospital.
abnormal, so it should just be as smooth as, it should just feel the normal breast tissues.
Yes.
But not anything abnormal. Anything abnormal, you run to the doctor.
True.
Okay, that's good. Well, we believe breast cancer comes with a lot of difficulties, and then there is that trauma that it brings when maybe you have to undergo chemo or anything. It really brings a lot of trauma. How do you help people deal with it?
First of all, when you get a cancer diagnosis, that the day that you're told you have cancer, it is not like any other day.
Yes.
And you live to remember that day until you go to meet your God. Because even the doctor who is telling you that you have the disease, he also takes time to tell you, because they know what it means.
True.
So that from the very day you're told you have cancer, your trauma starts from there. Because you start thinking about your children, if you have children, about your family, about your work, so it is a big thing. But as Ukaso, what we do, first of all, we counsel these patients. And the good thing, because we are survivors, we have gone through it. So we give them our stories, how we have gone through it. So we try as much as possible to comfort them. We know it is not a simple procedure. It is first of all, it is a long treatment. It is not a treatment that you will get in 1 day or 1 month or 1 year. Sometimes it takes a long time. So we counsel them. We tell them what to do. We follow them. That's why I told you that some of the activities we do, is to follow up our patients.
Okay.
So we follow them up to their homes, up to the hospital. Sometimes we even accompany them to the hospital, at least to show them where they can get this from, where they can get this from, and we even counsel the family. Because when you get cancer, it does not affect you alone.
Yeah.
It even affects the whole family.
True.
So we give counseling to the patients and then their families.
Okay. Well, we would never know if you haven't been through something. Are you yourself the victim?
Yes, I am.
Well, how did you receive the news and how are you managing throughout?
Okay, thank you, Kathy. True, as I've told you, the news of being because now you are a patient, so that telling you the news that you have cancer, it is something that is very. In fact, I cannot tell you that it is like this, but it is something that it is very sorrowful, very annoying. You will ask yourself questions which you don't have answers. But as for me, when I was told that I have cancer, I cried. I cried, and the doctor let me cry. I cried, but because I had no answers, I had many questions running in my head, which I had no answers to. So after crying, the doctor was telling me, you'll be fine. Of course, you think it is the normal way, because they always tell us you'll be fine. But now you're asking, how will I be fine? Because first of all, like for my case, I had never seen anyone who had survived the cancer.
Oh my
so
God.
For me, cancer was death. And I think even other people.
If for the general public, yes.
Yes.
We assume the moment you have cancer, you're gone, you're dead.
Because even the people that come to visit us, the things they tell us, the things they talk when they come to see us, it is like, you're now going, what have you done? What have you prepared for your children? For example, for my case, there is a guest who came to see me and asked me that, do you think for you will survive like for a month? Don't you think you're going to die? Do you think you will survive? Then I was like, why can't I survive? Because by that time, at least I had seen some survivors. And the reason why I love Ukaso so much, because my first patient, my first visitor was our Ukaso member. So when she came to visit me, she counseled me, she showed me her scar, because after the diagnosis, they tell you the procedure that you will go through for the treatment. And one of the procedures is surgery, where they cut off your breast.
Yes.
So when the doctor tells you that they will cut off your breast, now your mind go somewhere now else. Because you think first of all, you've never seen anyone whose breast has been cut. So the only thing you think of is death. Because even when we were growing, they were telling us, don't let anyone touch your breast. Don't let anyone box your breast, because you will die. So now you think of, what if they cut it? Will I survive? How will the whole be? So when she showed me her scar, I said, now I can do it.
Okay, I would like to understand something. For me, and probably for some other people who have the same kind of thinking that I have, we think that by the time you're told that you have breast cancer, it's automatic that the breasts will have to go off. And probably if they do cut them, it may spread to some other parts of the body. I would like you to throw more light on that and help the people out there understand this better.
Okay. As I've said, there are procedures for treatment, and one of them is the surgery. In some cases, they cut off the breast. In other cases, they just remove that swelling.
Okay.
That one is called the lumpectomy. They remove that swelling. But maybe we can ask ourselves, why do they cut off the breast?
Yes.
The main reason they cut off the breast, because they don't want the cancer to spread.
Yeah.
Now they cut off the affected part so that it doesn't go to other parts of the body. That's why they cut off the breast, just to save your life.
Okay.
That is the reason.
And we've seen in some cases whereby they have cut, but again, they probably delayed. What exactly happens where they cut, but again, after some few days or some few weeks or months, you again go back and you're told that it has spread?
You know, cancer has stages. There are early stages and advanced stages. And sometimes probably they cut off the breast when the cancer has already spread to some parts of the body.
Okay.
Yes. So that one may need a medical doctor to talk about it more. But what I know is that when they cut off your breast, they are trying to help you survive. They are trying to help you so that the cancer does not spread.
Okay. Take us through the different challenges that you've been facing as cancer patients, breast cancer patients mainly, and maybe from the different patients that you keep having here and there. I believe you have, and then the challenges that you're facing as the organization.
Okay, as patients, of course, we have challenges which may differ.
Yes.
But the commonest challenges, first of all, with breast cancer, as we have said, they cut off the breast. Now the first challenge, when they cut off the breast, how will you move as a woman?
Sure.
What will you do? Secondly, how will your family look at you? If you are married, will your husband still take you on? Because we have seen some women who have been rejected, who have been abandoned by their husbands because their breasts were cut off. Even their family. Because this treatment does not take a little time. You know, and secondly, it is expensive.
Definitely.
Because at first maybe you may be having your small money, you spend that money, it gets over. Then you start going to ask for help from your family, and they also get to get tired of that, and eventually they may reject you, they may abandon you. Another challenge is our places of work, because you will be off and on. Some employers will stop you from work. So that one is also a challenge. Another challenge, if you have children and you're spending your money on treatment, now these children will lack school fees. They may stop going to school. As a mother, seeing your children at home, you're sick,
it's the most painful
your children
thing.
are not going to school, your husband has abandoned you, so the trauma is really, really big. And that's one reason why some of these patients don't survive, because of that trauma.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's run quickly through the challenges that the organization could be facing.
Okay, as an organization, because we do a lot of work, one of our most challenges is finances. Because like if you're to go and visit patients, you need some kind of transport to go and visit the patients. We have patients, you go to their homes, they are sick, they don't even have food at home. So as survivors, we try and collect some money from ourselves to help such patients. So, and we have some friends who give us like food, things in kind. They can give us food, they can give us soap, sugar. We go and give those patients. But there are times when we don't have anything, and the patients are there. In fact, they even call us to ask for treatment.
Oh my God.
Like some of them have been told to go and do a scan, but they don't have the money. So they will call you. I've been told to do a scan, but I don't have the money. And for you as an organization, you don't want them to drop out of the treatment. But now, if they don't have anything to eat, if they don't have money to take them to hospital, now it is a challenge.
Definitely. Well, despite all the challenges, I believe there are a number of achievements that you look at and you say, wow, we've really come from far. Kindly mention some of those achievements that you've seen throughout from the time you began to now.
Okay, our main achievement is when we see a patient from the time of diagnosis to a time of survivorship.
Wow.
So, because like me, we have departments in our organization. We have a department which goes to visit these patients. So you see these patients from that time they get their diagnosis. So when you meet a patient who has survived for more than 5 years and you started with her, you really feel good. It is an achievement.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what are some of your future plans as Wokaso?
First of all, we would want to see a Uganda which is free of cancer. We may not achieve it today or tomorrow or the other day, but that is our main goal. That is what we want to see.
Okay.
Yes.
That's really nice. Well, what is your appeal to the public and probably the government? And as you're mentioning this, you also give out your last remarks to mainly the growing generation, the upcoming one, because most times we really don't want to even know what's happening around us. We don't pay attention to ourselves and our bodies. Just a little bit of advice to a young girl growing, or maybe a young man growing out there. They say it's mainly for us, but then they forget the men.
Okay. Dear viewers, my appeal, my big appeal is that we go and do checkups. As women, let's go and do checkups. Let us look at our diet. Don't just eat anything.
Okay.
You eat things that will help your body. Then with alcohol, because like the youth, alcohol is
we are consuming alcohol
much.
like there's no tomorrow.
Yes. If you can avoid alcohol, please do. If you can't, you take in bits.
Okay.
The same applies to smoking, because those are some of the things that really cause cancer. So if they can go off smoking, alcohol, it will be the best.
Okay. Maybe you can thank your partners, or probably in case there's anybody out there who would like more information, probably you should also share the website where they could get more information.
Okay. Anyone who would want to find us, we are located at Kamocha at the Catholic Parish, Kamocha Catholic Parish. That is where our office is. We have a website which is www.ukaso.org.ug.
Okay.
That is our website. But anytime our office is open from Monday to Friday from 8 to 4 every day.
Okay.
So we are there. Anyone can come and find us. We would like to thank UBC
It's our pleasure.
for this program. Thank you so much. Then our other partners, we have many. I may not mention one by one,
definitely.
but at least they should know that we are very grateful. We thank our friends. We have friends who donate to us. As they donate to us, we also go and give our patients. So thank you so much.
Well, it was really nice having you on the show.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, like you all had, let's all look at the different things that we take in and try not to just ignore our bodies. Let's all be aware of our breasts and everything that is surrounding us on our bodies. I've been Ishimwe Kathy on the program Safe Life. Your